I'm Amy Goodman with Juan Gonzalez.
We turn now to look more at Luigi Mangione, the 26-year-old accused of killing UnitedHealthcare CEO Brian Thompson as he walked to a shareholders conference in New York City on December 4th. Mangione remains in custody in Pennsylvania as he fights extradition to New York. He's hired the prominent lawyer Karen Friedman Agnifilo to represent him. She is the former second in command of the Manhattan District Attorney's Office. A defense fund for Luigi Mangione has already raised over $100,000 in the latest sign that he's become a folk hero to some. On Sunday, Senator Bernie Sanders appeared on Meet the Press and talked about why there is so much anger directed at the health insurance industry.
What you have seen rising up is people's anger at a health insurance industry which denies people the health care that they desperately need while they make billions and billions of dollars in profit. So killing anybody, shooting somebody in the back who's the father of two, is outrageous. It is unacceptable. Nobody should applaud it. I know Senator Warren did not. But I think what we need to ask ourselves when we talk about health care is why we are the only major country on earth not to guarantee health care to all people, why we have a life expectancy which is significantly lower than in other countries, why working class people die 5 to 10 years shorter than the people on top.
We're joined now by the investigative journalist Ken Klippenstein. He's broken several stories on the killing of the UnitedHealthcare CEO. He was the first to publish Luigi Mangione's full manifesto. He also obtained leaked internal documents detailing UnitedHealthcare PR campaign in response to the shooting. We welcome you back to Democracy Now!, Ken. When we say that you were the first to publish the manifesto, you weren't the first to get your hands on the manifesto. In fact, most media had their hands on it. Explain how you made that decision to publish it when they were withholding it.
That's exactly right. The major media outlets from the New York Times to the Post, CNN, ABC, all had their hands on this document, were sitting on it, sharing it with themselves socially, which I know from my friends at these various outlets, but refused to provide it to the general public. And so when I obtained the document and read through it, I didn't see any reason not to publish it. And so I went ahead, did that in response to what I saw as media paternalism at its worst. The judgment that this is safe for us to read, but it's not okay for the public to read.
Ken, in that manifesto, what do you think were some key portions that were most newsworthy that the public deserved to know about?
The overwhelming focus on the healthcare system as an institution. That's not, of course, to say that it's okay to kill somebody. I think that goes almost without saying to advance those goals. But to see in this the fact that it wasn't just a completely random act of violence, as in fact the major media repeatedly asserted it was. If you look at, there's one particularly egregious case by CNN in how they were trying to paraphrase the contents of the document, again, without providing the underlying document to the public to come to their own conclusions, saying that in this are the rantings and ravings of a crazy person. When you read through that document, which wasn't that long, but it's very clear from it that this individual was motivated by grievances about the healthcare system. And so that's why it's important to get that out to the public. I think that if you ask these major media outlets why they didn't do that, the explanations fall along roughly two lines. One is that it's not safe for the public to have this. It might inspire copycat killings. I think that's similar to saying, violent video games are going to cause children to shoot up schools. I'm very skeptical of that. But in addition to that, what I found in the course of my reporting on that document was that there were deals that were struck with law enforcement, which furnished this document to various media outlets, in which they were essentially blackmailed into not releasing these records because they didn't want to alienate the sources that they depended on for not just this document, but other exclusives.
You also looked at how UnitedHealthcare responded to the dam breaking on the immense anger directed at the healthcare industry after the killing of Brian Thompson. You've said the media is largely tone deaf. If you can go over the second information that you received, which was the internal documents of UnitedHealthcare responding to this assassination and to the anger in particular at the healthcare industry that it unleashed.
Yeah, over the course of reporting on this story, I've interviewed probably a dozen UnitedHealthcare employees who themselves were shocked and horrified at how out of touch not just the public-facing response, but the internal messaging to employees about this was. Something I didn't realize was the extent to which people working in these call centers, right up to management, not just low-level grunts, themselves are upset about having to deny claims and the way in which the industry conducts itself. And they felt as though, this is something I heard repeatedly in my interviews with them, to not acknowledge that as at least a part of this story is to overlook and to misunderstand what this is all about. And so they're getting their own internal messaging saying, everything's fine. Much of this changed around Thursday or Friday when the New York Times chose to publish an op-ed by the CEO of UnitedHealthcare's parent company, United Health Group, CEO by the name of Andrew Whitty. And it was only at that point, just a few days ago, that the tone sort of shifted towards I feel your pain, I understand that healthcare is far from perfect. But prior to that, there was very little in the way of recognition and acknowledgement of the public's anger, not just on the part of UnitedHealthcare, but on the part of the news media as well.
And let's talk a little about how the other aspects that the corporate media has missed in this story. You delved into the legal problems facing UnitedHealthcare CEO Brian Thompson before he was killed. Talk about the Hollywood Firefighters Pension Fund and the lawsuit that they had going.
Yeah, so in May, the Hollywood Firefighters Pension Fund filed a lawsuit against UnitedHealthcare, the deceased UnitedHealthcare CEO, alleging that he had engaged in insider trading and fraud in relation to a Justice Department investigation that was recently launched into the company for allegedly anti-competitive practices, which the then CEO Brian Thompson was aware of, had knowledge of, and did not disclose to either the public or investors, and ended up selling, I think, over $10 million of his own private, personally held stock in the company before disclosing that to the public, which has the effect of benefiting him, but hurting the rest of the shareholders, which aren't just rich investors. That's also pension funds and retirement funds who don't have the benefit of that knowledge to make decisions on.